Like most sports, Ben leans into a lot of player props. I'm more on teams, sides and totals, and that's why we like doing the show, because we give you the full panorama. So again, normally we do this on Wednesdays, but this is our last show of the week. So get in on some of these lines now. They do move. First game of the week, Beltway Ben. New York Atlas. Are they the best team in this league right now? They might be. They might be. California Redwoods, they are the worst team in this league right now, right? Would you agree with me there, Beltway Ben?
Absolutely, and I made the mistake of playing them last week. Never again. Never again.
Yeah, well, I don't know about never again, but probably not at least for a couple of weeks. Yeah, look, California first 2 weeks looked like they were something. They've now lost 4 straight since then. They're only scoring 10 goals per game, which is a low total, and they're not nearly good enough defensively to offset that. We've got an Atlas team. It's really been the inverse of California. Slow start, couple of losses against teams I think they would beat right now if they played them somewhere neutral site. But the last 3 weeks, they've won by 8, they've won by 2, they've won by 6. That means they're covering in a league where not many people are covering, right? Dogs are 17-7 against the spread. The last 3 weeks, Beltway Ben, the Atlas allowing just 28 total goals. We know they've got a great defensive mindset. We know they have a quality goalkeeper. And in a season where, again, it's been the year of the dog against the spread, I'm willing to lay the 1.5 here with the Atlas and look for them to cover again against a California team that doesn't seem to have a whole lot of morale right now. If this gets one-sided early, Beltway Ben, I think this could get really lopsided. So I'm willing to lay the 1.5 at -118.
Yeah, I'm going to play it just on the money line. It says -188 there, but if you go to FanDuel, that's DraftKings odds. FanDuel has it at -170, so that's the number that I will be playing. The Atlas on the money line, of course. Chase Erlin, you look at the goalie matchup for California, 48.6% save rate has been awful, and this team just hasn't been able to find wins. Meanwhile, on the other side, Liam Entenmann, 57.5% save rate, one of the best goalies in this league. And the Atlas, they're coming off of domination against the Cannons, which I didn't see coming, and they have shown they can win multiple ways, right? 17-11 versus Boston, 10-8 in their matchup right before the All-Star break. They can do this thing many different ways, and it starts with the goalie, who, like I said, Entenmann, who's one of the best goalies in the league. So I'm going to play it safe here. Stay away from the 1.5. I am, but I will play them on the money line at -170.
Yeah, and again, chart these numbers through the week, because when the team totals populate a little bit more, I might play California like under 10 goals. Like, I don't think they're getting double-digit goals here. Depending on how the numbers lie, I might even go under 9. Speaking of unders, this one is not a formal play for me, but it is a definite lean. Second matchup of the weekend, Utah against Carolina. I like the under in this matchup, Beltway Ben. I lean to the under 24.5 here. If you look at Utah and the total goals scored in their games this season, 27-18, 23-23, 17-15. Carolina, also more of a defensive team than an offensive juggernaut. Carolina total goals scored, 22, 26, 26, 21, 18. Utah's a quality side, but they don't cover. They don't win by 2+ goals. It's just not really in their makeup. They're 0-6 against the spread, 2-4 straight up. The betting markets have still favored them as a team that people think, or at least the gambling houses think, could win the whole damn thing. And their odds to win the PLL in the futures market have been fairly strong. But I look at this. Carolina's keeper's playing out of his mind. Carolina found their footing a little bit now. I think they want to slow this game down. Again, Utah's not really putting people away. So I lean to the under 24.5.
Yeah, I took the under 21.5. I didn't see a 24.5 when I looked, but I did take the under 21.5 in this one. Riordan is, like you said, you talked about him. I think he's the best goalie in this league, and save percentage says that. Dobson, on the other hand, is not far behind him. So you have two very, very good goalies. The Chaos are under this in 3 of their 6 games this season. The Archers are in last place, but it hasn't been because of their defense, right? Their defense has been solid, allowing 11 goals per game. And a lot of that comes from last week, right? They allowed 16 goals against Philadelphia. So you take that away, it's a lot less. I do like the under 21.5 here.
Third game of the week. I guess that moved already. I mean, I get, you know what I mean? I grabbed that yesterday. Wow. Third game of the weekend, kind of like last week. The third game of the weekend didn't do a whole lot for me, and I'm staying away from this one. Boston and Denver. We both thought Boston would bounce back last week coming out of the All-Star break. They did not. Boston's lost 3 or 4 after a fast start, and there were people 2-3 weeks into the season who thought maybe they were the best team in the league. Denver does not do the job when they're a favorite. They're 1-2 against the spread as a favorite. I couldn't really get anywhere on this one, Ben. I don't have a great feel for either of these teams. I don't have a play here. Do you?
Slight one. It's not an official play like the other two, but it is a lean. It's going to be with the Outlaws on the money line. I mean, I've talked about McNeely a ton, and he's minus 300 to win Rookie of the Year all of a sudden. So if you guys got that plus money playing, very, very good timing when we did it. But he took over a net June 14th, and they haven't lost since. And the Cannons talked about it. You just touched on it. I was bought in. I was buying them, and all of a sudden, they've been awful. They have not played well. The Outlaws are moving in the right direction. All of a sudden, they're number one in standing. So I do like the Outlaws on the money line, but it's not an official play, just a lean.
And the final game of the weekend, and this is a play for me. And again, I had to get out of the house today. We're getting a new gas line installed, and it's bedlam there with the dogs and BG&E drilling up my front lawn. I didn't bring my props, including my lacrosse helmet. But I like my water dogs to take care of business against the Whip Snakes here in the final game of the weekend. And again, I told you, it's the year of the dog, 17-7 against the spread. But I am taking the Water Dogs to lay the 1.5. Give me the plus 118. Maryland had 3 weeks to prepare for their game last week, and they came out flat, and they came out off kilter, and they got embarrassed a little bit. And maybe that brings something out on them, but I think the Water Dogs have recalibrated. I told you guys 2 weeks ago at the All-Star break, I got back on them to win this whole thing. They've got the best offensive player in the league in Sowers. They figured some things out defensively. I think they got humbled by the Atlas 3 weeks ago in a game they were heavy favorites in, and they've played much better lacrosse since then. They beat the Whip Snakes 16-12 in week 1. I know that's a while back. They're 4-2 against the spread, are the Water Dogs, in a league where not a lot of teams can say that. So I'm going to continue to ride them here, Beltway Bet. And again, I'm laying the 1.5 plus 118.
Yeah, official play for me. I'm going with just the money line, the Water Dogs, minus 154. I mean, you made all the points about them. And being from Maryland, I am a Whip Snakes fan, but yeah, you just got to be honest when you look at these two teams. One's a lot better than the other. And you talked about the loss to the Atlas. Anybody who, if you're not, very familiar with the PLL, look in all sports. There's a lot of very good teams that have a bad loss and all of a sudden turns their season around. And that feels like what's going on with the Water Dogs. So I do like them on the money line at minus 154 as an official play.